Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us here on our YouTube channel for episode number 885. Well, I will tell you what, today's interview, I don't even know where to start, but let's start here. I'm interviewing a young lady who did not grow up farming, got exposed to agriculture, basically through her dad gardening in the backyard. And oh my goodness, is she inspired. After doing over 800 interviews on this show and probably over 500 interviews with FFA students, I have enjoyed each and every one of them. They're all unique. They're all wonderful in their own way. But there is something special about a student who did not grow up in ag and got exposed to agriculture and then more formally exposed to agriculture through the FFA, and they become an absolute raving fan about ag, and man, they are energized and they want to go out and they want to do something great for agriculture, for their country, for the world through ag. It is so inspiring, and that is exactly what we've got for you today as I introduce you to Aashika Uppala. I'm excited to do that, and we're going to start it right now. Joining me today is Aashika Uppala, and she is coming to us from Western Hills High School in Frankfort, Kentucky, where she has been serving as her chapter's treasurer, and she owns her own business, which she's going to be telling us all about, called Sheikah's Bloom. So, Aashika, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Well, I'm looking at you here in your room. It looks like you've got a wooden carving of the state of Kentucky behind you. Am I right about that?
I do, and it says FFA in the FFA emblem, and it is signed by Ryan Quarles, who's the Kentucky Commissioner of Agriculture.
Wow, very cool. How did you wind up with that?
What?
How did you wind up with that?
I actually got it as a birthday gift from someone.
That's great.
It's probably the best birthday gift I've ever gotten, to be honest. So I hung it up in my room.
That is wonderful. Well, good for you. That's great. FFA pride, state pride, it's all right there.
I know.
Agricultural pride, that is awesome. All right. Well, how is Kentucky today?
It's good. It was a little rainy this morning. I went to work and I got rained on, but now it's good. It's sunny and beautiful outside.
Okay. I live out west, and it's dry out where I live. We've got so I've been to Kentucky a couple times. Beautiful, beautiful state. I can never get over all the green during the summer. So different than where I live.
A lot of green.
Very cool. Okay, so let's talk about you for a second. I know you're in Frankfort or in around Frankfort, Kentucky. Do you live in town or out on a farm or something in the middle of those two?
I live in a neighborhood in town.
Okay.
And I have my business in my backyard, so.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that here in a moment. Now, how long have you been part of the FFA?
This will be my 5th year.
5th year. And you are just starting your senior year, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you begin in 8th grade?
Yes.
Okay. So was that a formal introduction into the chapter, or you got to take some classes and see how FFA works? How does it work at your middle school?
So that was the first year my middle school started an FFA chapter.
Okay.
And I was in an ag class, and my advisor was wanting officers for FFA. I interviewed and I got VP, and that's, my journey kind of began there.
Oh, very cool. So you interviewed and became VP of your middle school chapter, is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
and so you were already in an ag class. What had piqued your interest in agriculture at that point?
To be honest, I don't think my interest of agriculture really started until I got to high school.
Okay.
I was always into FFA, but the ag aspect didn't really get to me till around high school. And I went on FFA field trips, ag field trips, and that's when I got into ag. I wanted to, change the world, feed people. And I realized the importance that the role agriculture plays in our community and how underrated it is.
Interesting.
And that's how it all started, yeah.
Okay. So you had actually signed up for an ag class because you wanted to be part of the FFA. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's interesting. I have a lot of students that come on the show who were in an ag class, and that's how they got brought into the FFA, but you're kind of the flip-flop of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so what had exposed you to FFA by the time you were in 8th grade?
Well, in middle school, there's not much you can do because of the opportunity wise. But I learned a lot about animal science and plant science and all those stuff. But when I got into high school, we have a greenhouse. And that's when I kind of fell in love with plants because I got to work in the greenhouse. We have a shop. I fell in love with the machinery. And I got to, I learned how to weld. My advisor taught me all this stuff.
Okay.
And I also took an aquaculture class. I took all the classes I could in ag, from animal science, aquaculture, machinery, and horticulture. And I'm very thankful for that my FFA chapter can offer those.
Very cool. Now, okay, I'm going to go back to that last question though, really quick, because I'm trying to put the puzzle together in my head. So you took that first ag class so you could be part of FFA.
Yes.
So before you signed up for that ag class, you knew about the FFA and you knew you wanted to be involved. Is that right? So how had you learned about the FFA at that point?
From my middle school, my advisor. And I think I solely joined FFA because I wanted to enhance my leadership ability and become, have more service hours on my applications. It was more to look better rather than to make a difference, I feel.
Okay.
And the whole ag stuff and, that part didn't sink in till high school, I feel.
Okay. So your mission in the FFA has kind of evolved over time.
Yes, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Good for you. Now, so you started off in your middle school chapter. You went straight to being an officer. So you went in head first. You were getting fully involved. Yeah. And now here this year, you're serving as treasurer?
My junior year I am, but we have our officer elections next week for my senior year. So yeah, I don't know what I'll be. I don't know if I'll even get a position, but fingers crossed, right?
Okay, so we're pre-recording this. So we're recording this in late July, but this is going to air on September 7th. So by the time this comes out, you will know.
I will know.
Okay, very good. Now, at this point, do you get to go back to school this fall, or is it going to be online?
We have virtual classes for 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks, okay.
Yeah.
So not the full semester, at least at this point, but starting out. Okay, very good. All right, well, I'm excited to learn more. Let's do this. I'd love to acknowledge who your FFA advisor or advisors are or have been. Would you mind letting us know who those folks are?
Yes, of course. My first FFA advisor from Bondurant, his name is Jeffrey Schaefer, and he actually works in Western Hills now, which is awesome. So he kind of, it was with me for my journey. And J.R. Zinner, he is not only my FFA advisor, but my parley coach, my ag teacher, everything. And my new ag teacher is Jenna Harrod, who is also a previous state officer.
Very cool. Well, thank you for mentioning all of them. Those are names I've heard before.
Really?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to do a couple interviews with Western Hills, so that's very cool. Well, I want to take a second, Aashika, and just acknowledge a couple of our great sponsors. And, of course, everybody, I want to talk about Lacrosse Footwear. You can find them over at lacrossefootwear.com. I am thrilled to have them as a sponsor. I discovered their Alpha Range boots about 2 years ago and finally found that neoprene-based rubber boot that stands up to what I do work-wise on my farm every day of the year, whether I'm irrigating in the summer like this morning, and I will be this evening, or feeding cattle, feeding goats, doing all of that in the winter, in the snow and the ice and the mud. You will not be happier than buying a pair of Alpha Range boots. And I love to bring up Lacrosse when we do our FFA episodes because they are so proud to support the FFA by annually sponsoring $25,000 in scholarships as well as jackets as part of the Give the Gift of Blue program. So please check them out over at lacrossefootwear.com. And then, of course, Powder River Livestock Handling Equipment. Just love having these folks as a sponsor. We have a Powder River squeeze chute and livestock panels here on our farm for handling our cattle. And I'll tell you what, it fills me with confidence every time we've got to run a cow in, and we know it'll do the same for you. They are built as well or as better than anything else out there on the market, built intuitively with you handling your cattle in mind. So please check them out. You can find them over at powderriver.com and let your local farm and ranch retailer know you'd like to see those Powder River green pieces of equipment out in their sales yard. Okay, well, let's get back to you, Aashika. So Let's talk about your supervised agricultural experience. I know it's called Aashika's Blooms, but I'm ready to learn more.
What would you like to know?
I want to know everything. What is it?
So during quarantine, since all my classes have turned into virtual, whatever, I had extra time on my hands, and a grant opportunity was given to me by one of my friends who also has her own business.
Mm-hmm.
And I filled out the grant, and I won $400 to start my own business. So with the $400, I immediately went to Lowe's as soon as I got my check in the mail,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought plants, I bought pots, I bought hanging baskets, seeds for soil, all that. And I wanted to sell floral arrangements to my community.
Okay.
That was like the whole purpose of it. I felt like I did want to be busy and occupy my time with something, but I think with quarantine, with school being out and events being canceled and our summer being ruined, a lot of people are kind of just depressed and in this sad mood, and I don't like that. I want positivity around my community, and I truly believe these flowers and floral arrangements can bring that happiness and love to people. So that's a part of the reason why I started the business. And I also do corsages and boutonnieres for homecomings and prom, but unfortunately those events also got canceled during quarantine.
Okay.
But for the future,
yeah,
I do that. So that was kind of how my business started.
Okay. And so this is a relatively new business because it began during quarantine.
Yeah.
So you're just getting it going now. Is this something that you had been doing as a hobby prior to getting this grant?
No. My dad had a garden, but it was a vegetable garden, and I helped out a lot. But now I have my own floral garden.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like as soon as you got the grant, you knew what the business was that you wanted to start.
Yeah, because during the grant application, I had to fill out, it was extensive work about my business and what I wanted to start, what I was going to use the money for. So I kind of had it all in mind.
So during that time period where you were filling out the grant application and you had to choose what the business was going to be, was that difficult for you to come up with an idea?
I definitely knew I wanted to be something with plants. And I fell in love with making floral arrangements over my FFA career. And I'm like, why don't I just do this and make money? Because it's benefiting the community, it's benefiting me, and I'm able to make a profit. Because I believe, during quarantine, we really need to support our local businesses. And I was another local business, so.
That's great. Okay. So what were you doing for your supervised agricultural experience prior to this?
Helping my dad's vegetable garden, and I'm also kind of like the project manager of our school's urban garden.
Okay.
My advisors mainly take care of it, but when they can't, I step in.
Okay.
So we started an urban garden, and the special ed kids are helping us, and all of the vegetables are going to a nonprofit organization.
Very cool. So you like working and getting your fingers in the soil.
Yes, I do.
Good for you. So when you started Aashika's Blooms, was it in March? Was it in April? When did you receive the grant?
Early April, around spring break time. So yeah.
And so I guess, was it still early enough for you to be able to get flowers planted and have stuff to sell?
So we had another frost in spring, unfortunately. So after I got plants, some of them didn't make it, but luckily I had more money left. So I bought plants, and I didn't actually start until June because I made a commercial for my business with a very talented videographer, and I got a few models to help me out, and we showcased my flowers, made corsages, boutonnieres, and that's when I kind of launched my business to the public, and then I've gotten a few orders since then.
Very cool. Yeah. So you made a commercial.
Yeah, I did make a commercial.
Okay. So you knew somebody who was a videographer, or you hired somebody?
One of my friends had a friend who was a videographer, and she's a YouTuber as well. So we FaceTimed, and I was like, "This is what I want." She said, "Yeah, I can make it happen."
That is awesome.
We did it.
That is great. So can we find this commercial today? Can we watch it if we wanted to?
Yeah, it's on my business Instagram, her business Instagram, and it's on YouTube.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
name? What's the name of is your business Instagram Chica's Blooms? Is that right?
Yes, it is
Okay.
Chica's Blooms.
All right. I'm gonna have to watch this commercial, and then maybe
It's
we'll.
not very long. It's only like a minute, and it's very. I like it.
Okay.
It's a yeah.
I'm jotting down. You've got a commercial on Instagram
Yeah.
and YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the
It's on
name?
YouTube.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's on her YouTube channel,
on
but
hers.
the commercial. Yeah, it's the commercial is called. I think it's just Chica's Blooms commercial, and you should find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very cool. So then, was that commercial? Did you make that for the launch of your business, or was that after you'd already started retailing your stuff?
And no, that was like the official, like, hey, I'm open, like you can buy stuff from me.
That is
So,
great.
yeah.
And what kind of response did you get from it?
I mean, it was like massive.
Yeah.
I posted on Facebook, and like everyone I knew shared it, and all good feedback though, and everyone was kind of happy for me that I was doing this because I'm only 17 and I have my own business. But
great.
like I really was doing this for like the community mainly, like to give back to my local community. And of course, like I think FFA played a big role in that. It's taught me so much with being a model citizen and doing, being a servant leader. So
that is great.
yeah.
So at this point, now that the initial launch is over, how do you market Chica's Blooms?
I have a Facebook. I have an Instagram for Chica's Blooms. I'm always posting stuff every time I make an arrangement, or sell plants. I've always taken pictures of it, posting. And just recently, I've gotten, Mr. Schaefer, his daughter Colleen, came over last week and she's a photographer.
Okay.
And she took photos. That's her SAE, taking photos of other people's. So she took photos of my plants, of arrangements, of me working in my garden. And, I got that posted up. So a lot of people have saw that.
Oh, that's great. Good for you. Well, let's talk about the logistics for a second. So how are you growing your flowers? Are you in a hothouse? Do you have raised beds? What are you doing?
I have pots, I have hanging baskets, and I have raised beds. Nothing is like in the ground just because where I live, I deal with so many rabbits per day.
Oh.
So I didn't want to risk it. But yeah, I have like probably 20 hanging baskets and 4 raised beds, and I don't even know how many pots, like maybe 30 pots. But I grow all my own flowers and stuff I can't grow. I usually have to purchase, but most of everything I can. I think that the only thing I can't grow as fast would be tea roses, which are a little harder.
Okay.
But everything else I grow, and that's how I make my arrangements.
Okay. And what kind of flowers are you growing? What varieties?
I have tiger lilies, African marigolds, poppies, tea roses, knockout roses, vincas, begonias. I have so many. I have all of it listed on my business accounts.
Okay.
So people can find it there too, or ask me to send them pictures.
All right. Well, I'll link up to it on the website, and so people can go right to the link from there. Man, that is great. So you learned about making floral arrangements through FFA, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure you learn, I'm sure you learn kind of the fundamentals, and then you can put your own touch on it later, especially in your own business.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's fun because it's like, it's a type of art in a way, you get to design the arrangement how you like and choose whatever vase and add whatever color you think would pop. Because most of my customers, what I've noticed, they really don't know what they want. Like they're kind of oh, just do whatever is cute. And I'm like, okay, so I get to play around a little.
Okay. And most of your customers, are they ordering, what are the purposes they're ordering from you for? Just to decorate their home or an event, or what are they ordering from you for?
I've had I have a regular customer. She always orders from me every week just to decorate her home.
Okay.
I have an order for tomorrow for someone's anniversary. I've gotten a few birthday orders. So it's like occasions and home decoration, I guess.
That is awesome. Now, have you always had thoughts about having your own business?
No.
No?
It really started in quarantine, but I love it. Like I truly love taking care of my garden and like selling. That's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
because it knows, you made one person happy, and that's all that matters that day.
That's great. And then
Hmm.
do you have a job outside of this?
Yes, I'm a host at Cracker Barrel.
Oh my goodness. I could never be a host at Cracker Barrel.
I
I would get arrested immediately for stealing biscuits. That would happen immediately. But the fried okra, I'd never be at my post. I'd be back in the kitchen stealing
know.
fried okra, biscuits.
It's tempting. Trust me, it's
Oh my
tempting.
goodness. I don't think I can. I can't go on with this interview. I have to go to Cracker Barrel right now. Oh my goodness. That's great. So you've got a job and you've got a business and you've got your responsibilities in the FFA. So you're a busy person.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy.
You are a busy person. Wow. Well, good for you. That is exciting. So if you've never ever thought you would own your own business and then this opportunity came up with this grant and the grant's all about starting your own business, what made you get over the hump? What made you go, okay, I'll try this. I'll try having my own business.
I just wanted to be busier and, give back to my community in a way, especially during quarantine. I was like, I felt like this was a good way because where more people are staying home and not going out, they'd want to purchase flowers from someone local rather than going to like Lowe's or Walmart to buy plants. And I'm also selling plants, not just arrangements, but I don't get many plant orders. But that was kind of like the initial thought of it. And I wanted to start a business. I wanted the challenge. I wanted to see how to do it. Like, is this for me? Could I, potentially major in business in college?
Yeah. Good for you. Well, a lot of people never do. A lot of people wish they could work for themselves or something like that, but they never take that first step. So I'm very proud of you for doing that because a lot of people, let fear or hesitation hold them back, and you didn't do that. That is great. So here you are. You're beginning your senior year, and so you've got one more year left of high school. So what's next for you after that?
Plan on going to the University of Kentucky and majoring in agricultural engineering.
Oh, really? Okay. Ag engineering. So you really have been sold on ag since signing up for that first class?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you want to do with ag engineering?
I hope to work for John Deere and work, innovate and improvise tractors and other agricultural equipment. I go to, the Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a big tractor pull. I go there every year, and I'm just so amazed at how, like, the modern tractors are now. Like, where you don't even have to do anything. You kind of just sit and it does everything on its own. I'm good at math, and I'm into engineering. I've taken a few engineering classes in high school.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's, I know a lot of math, but I really do. I like learning about technology and ag, and especially ag technology. So I wanted to do that.
Wow.
I already knew it. It was not even a question.
All right. What mathematics course are you enrolled in for your senior year?
AP Calculus.
Oh, my gosh. I think my senior year of college, I took pre-calculus. And
I took pre-cal my junior year.
Oh, my gosh. And I failed. And then my spring semester of my senior year, I had to retake it. And I think I squeaked by and was able to get a degree. But to be fair, I never thought I would ever get a degree. So, that was shooting pretty high for me. Oh, the math and the engineering, then there'll be physics coming up at some point, right?
Probably, yeah. And I've just finished AP Chem, too. I struggled a lot in chemistry, not going to lie. I don't like chemistry. I struggled a lot in AP Chem. But for some reason, math is easier for me than chemistry. It's just two different worlds, in my opinion.
Yeah, wow. So, have you had the chance to get in one of those big tractors and actually ride around and see how they work?
Well, I've been inside, but I never, gone for a ride or anything like that.
Okay.
But I've definitely been inside the big John Deere tractors and IH ones. I have photos up on my my personal Instagram of me oh my God, I'm in a tractor. And I'm pretty sure my entire school knows my obsession with Pink Tractors. That's a brand. You know Pink Tractor? The brand?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh. It's their motto is Farm Smart, Woman Strong. And I love it because it's all about women empowerment and women in ag, And I love it. I have their merch, I have their pens, I have a t-shirt. I like I follow them on Instagram and their Facebook, and it's crazy. At the tractor pull in Louisville, they have like little booths of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like pink tractor and the John Deere, and then Kubota, whatever. I always get a pink tractor, and I'm like fangirling when I get there.
Okay, so I'm naive about this. Is Pink Tractor? Is it actually a tractor manufacturer? Like, are they selling tractors for use on farms?
No, they don't sell tractors.
Okay,
it's more of just like a empowerment kind of thing. They do have like shirts and stuff. But not.
Okay. For a minute there, for a minute I was like, how do I not know about a major tractor manufacturer? Okay, I'm feeling better about myself now. Oh, that's really cool. Now, you said specifically you want to work for John Deere. So what is it about John Deere?
It's more just like to make my advisors mad because I know they're big IH fans.
Okay.
And no, like honestly, I'd work for any ag technology company that hires me, but I do have a strong loyalty to John Deere. I don't know why. I just like their tractors better. And I always go on their website, and I'm always looking for like internships and stuff. So I feel like with that, they're easier, and they're always giving students a chance to shine.
All right. So here's the deal. Now we'll have to edit this later, but I'm going to leave this in for now. So we'll say, before you go out looking for a job, working in ag engineering, will you go on to a master's degree, or will you do it with a bachelor's? I need to know the time frame here.
Definitely gonna do my bachelor's. Planning on doing my master's right now.
Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna change.
Okay, so in about 6 years, maybe 7 years, you need to get a hold of me so we can edit this part out, but I want to leave it in for now. So here's my advice. You have pledged your love to John Deere on this video, right? So when you're interviewing with, this is going to hurt you if you're interviewing with John Deere, but if you're interviewing with Case or you're interviewing with any other, right? You want to tell them, when you're negotiating your salary, you want to tell them, I'm very, very interested. You have a wonderful company and you make incredible equipment. I did get a call from John Deere last night, so I would like to speak with you again tomorrow. In the meantime, here is my resume, and here's a video podcast I did when I was a senior in high school to show you just how devoted I am to working in the tractor industry. And when they see your devotion to John Deere, they're going to bump your starting salary offer by at least 50%. That's what I'm saying.
You think?
Oh yeah, you got to leverage this interview so they get scared and go, "Oh my gosh, she's going to go to John Deere." And so you got to leverage this interview. So I'm just saying, but we got to cut this part out where I'm telling you to do that. Otherwise, they'll know it's a bluff. So you got to balance it. We got to balance it. No, that is great. That is wonderful. Well, I'm excited for you. That's really cool that you want to follow that, that you want to do that. And man, agriculture is so lucky to have you as a fan.
Thank you. I'm lucky to be in ag, really.
That is great. Well, wonderful. Well, let's finish with this. I want to ask you what it is about agriculture that you love.
Helping people. Because, if you're in the ag industry, you know the quote, by 2050, there's going to be 9 billion people. That's going to be our global population. And if farmers can't feed everyone now, and, the food insecurity rates just keep going down, imagine by 2050. I mean, I think it's important that the food insecurity rates, we know, are diminished. Like, we just think about America, but really, if you look at, the third world countries, all that, like, being in the ag industry is not, it's not just, I think a lot of people that aren't an FFA or not introduced to ag properly kind of just, see it as like a hick thing or a redneck thing, whatever. But really, we're feeding people, the farmers markets and Walmart, Kroger. Like, how is that food there? Because you're farmers. Your farmers are feeding you every day. They thank a farmer every day, really. And that's what I love about ag, helping people. I really, truly believe that.
That's great. Well, I can't think of a better way to wrap this up. Aashika, this has been a pleasure. I am looking forward to following your progress. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. Special thanks to Aashika Uppala for coming on the Off-Farm Income Podcast today. And as always, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.